Hello everyone, my name is Wanjiro Morethi of WINENJIRU Exclusives, and I'm excited to bring conversations with key stakeholders in the wines and spirits industry in Kenya. Today, I am so honored to have James Wahome. He is an old friend of mine. In fact, he was my boss at the Marketing Society of Kenya. More so, we are part of the same running club, of which he is the patron, Urban Swarers, so we know the trails all over Kenya from our running escapades. But most importantly, he is the proprietor of Africa Lodges in Voi and Cellars Grills on Ngong Road. Welcome, James Wahome, and we're very honored to have you here.
Thank you, Angelo. It's a pleasure that I'm invited to share our experiences. And our experiences, as Wanjiro has said, are varied, because having worked with Wanjiro at the Marketing Society of Kenya, where she was very helpful to make our marketing courses very effective. And from that, a lot of marketers in Kenya benefited from those past experiences. As Wanjiro has said, we also share running experiences. I remember the first time I wanted to do the Comrades Marathon. She was such an inspiration, because Wanjiro is one person who just jumped into the race, even without proper preparations, and she ran with not her feet, she ran with the head, and she would finish. I've never seen such kind of resilience. Thank you, Wanjiro, for those inspiration. I think all of us, we inspire each other. And now we're in the same industry.
True.
Because I've been in the wine industry for 15 years. And when I came back to active wine marketing and learning restaurants and learning Voi, then Wanjiro came into the picture again in the same business, and she is the one who helped me, or helped us at Cellars Grill, to set us our current suppliers and to select the very fine wines we are offering at Cellars Grill. Thank you, Wanjiro.
Oh, thank you very much. Is it a case of the student becoming the teacher and the other way around? We'll see.
I think it is, because right now, I think I'll learn a lot from you. Because having worked in the industry, I took a break of about 7 years. My wine experience, I ran a bit stale, but I would say it's easier to catch up, because now I'm back, and if you looked at the events we have held here,
Yes.
we have conducted a bit of wine tastings, and I will tell you, I think I'll be confident to conduct a wine tasting
Wine
now.
testing now.
Yes.
That's really, really great
Yes.
news to hear.
Yeah.
So let's go back a bit. You're known for Kenya wine agencies and especially launching 2 big brands in the market, Viceroy and Amarula. But before that, where was James Wahome?
Before that, I grew up in the village, just like most of us grew, and schooled in the rural schools. I went to a rural secondary school, and then I went to Kagaro High School, or Kagaro School then, which was one of the biggest mixed schools in Kenya.
Yes.
And from there, I joined the University of Nairobi to do a Bachelor of Commerce in Marketing.
Okay.
And when I was young, I used to see guys driving branded vehicles in the village. And I thought that field is very interesting, driving a branded car. So that motivated me to do marketing at the University of Nairobi. And I would say I'd qualified even to do accounting and all the other courses. But that early inspiration got me into marketing. After I graduated, I joined Glaxo East Africa Consumer Division, where I quickly rose to the level of a marketing manager.
Great.
And from Glaxo, I moved to Kenya Wine Agencies and Qual as a sales and marketing manager, and then went to head Distell.
Okay.
Distell in Kenya as a general manager. Distell was one of the major suppliers of coal. So it was just shifting from one office to the other within the same premises.
Premises, yes.
And I worked for Distell for 11 years. And then I went on my own in 2015. When I was in Distell, I started building a hotel in Voi.
Yes.
And many people would ask me why Voi, but that probably is a question for another day. Don't ask me that, because it will take a whole story to explain.
Okay.
And when I went to Voi and started building the hotel, I realized that I need to exit the corporate world and concentrate on business. So we have run Voi since 2015. And no, not 2015, yes, 2015. And this Cellars Grill is still an offshoot of our experiences in Voi.
Yes.
And we wanted to have a foothold in Nairobi.
Yes.
And here we came up with a new concept, a concept of wine and smoked meat. So that's what we are currently doing at Cellars Grill in Nairobi.
Yes. It's great that we've heard about the person and your journey from the village to the big corporate streets, and that's quite a change for you to go into hospitality. Africa Lodges is located out of Nairobi.
Yes.
It is very near lodges, very different from this concept of smoked meat. Maybe take us through the process of developing both of those concepts. Why? Was there a gap in the market? Is that where your interest lies, or what led to that?
My inspiration of building a hotel in Voi, which is on the highway, was to offer value for money convenience stopovers for travelers. And as you might know, the Nairobi-Mombasa highway is a very busy highway.
Yes.
The first time I went to Voi as a destination, I actually experienced some problems getting accommodation. So the market was demanding for affordable, clean accommodation. So there was a niche which we wanted to exploit. And our strategy actually fell into place because we have stuck to that, offering convenient, affordable accommodation, clean, along the highway. If you visit Africa Lodges, you see some uniqueness, because Voi is a very dry area. So we did plant trees, palms, and when you are inside there, you feel like the effect of coast or Mombasa, because you'll just be hearing the birds singing and the environment of coolness. So, but it's on the highway, so that one will probably make you not realize you're on the highway, although you might be hearing the vehicles passing. And that uniqueness of the product set us aside from the competition, because we don't have, in business I usually don't like talking so much about competition, because you have to stick to your uniqueness. You have to have your unique selling proposition, which you stick to. If you stick to your strategy, you'll not be talking so much about competition. You'll be focusing on the customer or on the consumer.
So travelers along Mombasa Highway, and maybe some that are coming now by the train, what is the Wines and Spirits offering on the food that you offer there that is different perhaps from the others?
I would say that in Voi, we are the only restaurant offering good wines.
Oh, great.
You are guaranteed to get good wines in our restaurant. Because recently we have introduced a variety. We used to offer like Nederberg as one of the medium to premium wines, but recently we have introduced the Zevenwonch Ridge, which we are stocking at Cellars.
Cellars as well.
We have introduced some French wines, and we are trying to develop the wine market in Voi, and it is speaking. Yes, that's why I earlier on I said we don't so much focus on competition and as creating
Yes.
a niche and educating the consumer or the customer that these wines are good. And when they realize that the wines are good, then you create a demand and a market for the wines.
Very well done. I'm sure then we can do this and replicate it anywhere, even in Murang'a.
Yeah, it can be done.
It can be done.
In fact, when we do we do finalize our VOI project, because it's still a work in progress, we intend to go to central Kenya.
Okay.
Yes.
And
But not
replicate
so
the
much,
same.
so much not on the highway, but probably in the interior a bit.
Okay.
Because that's where we have property, but develop the same concept.
Okay.
Yeah, of value, accommodation, and getting a niche where everybody is not in that market.
In that market,
or
exactly.
in that niche. So that's what we intend to do.
I love it. You're breaking down myths of people not being able to sell premium wines in certain locations. So do you feel that the person you are, and because people know you as a premium wine consumer, affects the expectations they have when they come to any of your establishments? Or do you think the brands stand for themselves?
I personally don't like bad wine. Or there is no bad wine.
There's no bad wine.
There's no bad wine, but there are some wines I can tell you they are bad.
There's always better wine
Yeah.
and better quality.
Yeah, bad quality wines. We used to say, when I was in the wine industry, we used to say some wines are not worth to be sold. Because it's not about money or about marketing or about sales. It's about giving a consumer something which is reasonable. The wine market is not like the spirits market. So it's not full of these cut price products.
Yes.
So you have to give a reasonable wine. That's why I'm using that word, which
Okay.
which is not very good to use bad wine, but there is bad wine. Good wine is a wine which you have confidence to recommend to a customer. So in our range of wines, we keep the mainstream wines because some of the Kenyans, that's what they are exposed to.
Yes.
They are the mainstream brands, they are available everywhere. But we always have a class of premium wines. And when we are introducing our wines, the first thing we do is to introduce our customers to the premium wines and different wines.
Yes.
Because every bottle of wine or a variety of wine is a new experience. So we want people to experience different tastes of wines from different regions and different wine estates. And that's why just keeping a wine shop or a wine restaurant is not enough.
Okay.
You have to expose the consumers to different tastes. And wine is a beverage where sometimes you don't have a brand. Because you go to this market, you experience another wine, and you want to experience new wines. So you'll be picking good wines from different restaurants from different regions. So you are always covered because you can take a wine in America, you can take a wine in France, you can take a wine in South Africa. But if you are a whiskey person,
Yes.
and you stick to one brand, when you go to South Africa, you'll be looking for that brand. When you go to America, you'll be looking for that brand. Wine is different. You want to experience different wines in different regions. And of course, quality wines.
Quality wines.
Yes.
We like that. So there's a lot more to explore. There's different varieties from different ranges. And really, there's different stories regarding all the wines. Now that we are at Cellars Grill, this particular location where we are filming from, please tell us the story of this. I'm quite fascinated that it was a COVID launched business, but take us maybe what was this room used before us, why this location, and perhaps the concept of the wine and smoked meat.
When we came here and we found this facility was available, it was being used by a milk distributor who is now next door.
Okay.
And before then, it used to be a Coca-Cola distributor's go down.
Okay.
So it's actually a go down.
A go down.
And we have, as I said earlier, we converted it to a restaurant, but we didn't want to lose the rustic feel of the go down. because otherwise we would have brought the go down and build another. So we try to work with the help of creative people to come with creatives and see how we can interpass the ruggedness of the go down and brings a little of modernity into it. But if you look at this restaurant, there's nothing which looks so modern. It's wood. Wood is traditional.
Yes.
Metal is rustic. So those combinations and the wine.
Yes.
I think wine is also not. If you think about wine, you think about barrels.
Yes.
Think about wood.
Wood, yes.
So that's why you find a lot of wood. If you look at the logs we have put there, that goes with the smoked meat.
Yes.
Because we smoke using some firewood and charcoal.
Okay.
And that brings out the concept. And when we tell people this was a go down, and some people say, hey, really? But if you look at the place, you can see the four walls. And whatever we have put inside was not there. It was just four walls.
Was just to lift it up and look at this. We're actually in the wine cellar, right in the go down.
Yes.
So how did you come up with what portfolio to have in your wine, on the wine list? We see very many bottles here from very many different countries. Perhaps take us through the process of deciding what comes here.
I'm sure you want to get credit for this.
No, not necessarily. Is there a scientific way?
Because we use personal relationship with WINENJIRU to bring the first 3 suppliers of wines. I do have stuck with those suppliers. We have added more suppliers.
Yes.
But the criteria is looking at wines which are not so much common in the market.
In the market, yes.
Wines which you give different experiences.
Yes.
And wine estates which are not mass wine estates. Some of these wines have come from boutique wineries, wherever they have come from. And that gives them a uniqueness.
Yes.
When an industry becomes mass, the product becomes mass, and every customer can get that wine from any outlet. So we are trying to have a selection of wines so that when you come to Cellars Grill, you can look at what we are offering, unique wines and unique meat offerings.
Offerings as well.
And that's where now the smoked meat comes in and breads very well with the wine we are offering.
Great.
Yeah.
So it's key to have a niche, because you have a niche clientele.
Yes.
Then the wine estates and wine brands you're targeting are also very niche. And of course, there's a few big ones for people who want. But it's quite impressive. I must say, you have one of the most varied wine lists I have seen of places in Nairobi, even places that have been opened before. I see it's predominantly South African. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah. When the South Africans came into this market with their wines, South Africa was a cross market for a very long time. And when apartheid was abolished in South Africa, so to say, they became very aggressive. And this market was predominantly French.
Okay.
In Kenya, we are so much exposed to French wines. But when South Africans came, they came and penetrated the mass market with cellar casks and cask wines and all that. So most of the consumers in Kenya developed the South African palate. If you look at the methods of making wine, the Spanish wines have got a unique character. South African wines are very close to Argentinian wines in terms of taste, and also to a bit of French history or French heritage. Now, when you go to the Spanish and the Chilean wines, they have almost a similar characteristic. So when people develop a palate for like full-bodied, heavier wines, South African wines, they tend to consume or to like those brands much more.
Yes.
And that explains why we have much more variety of South African wines. Not that we don't have other wines. We have Argentinian wines, we have Chilean wines, we have Californian wines.
Yes.
And we have French wines.
Yes. Great, thank you. I remember the first tasting we had here, maybe with about 30 people just before your launch. A few people were actually complaining why there was no sweet wines because majority of what was at stake was dry. But by the end of the evening, nobody was even bothered with the sweet wines. We had wines from South Africa, and I think there was a French, and I'm not sure what other country, but we had transformed the people just by giving information and exposing them to new brands. And that's how easy it is, really. And it was so good to see the transformation at the end of the evening. I remember that as quite a success. If somebody wants to buy wine here, what is maybe the price range of both, say, your wines by the glass starting from what price, bottles starting from what price, and perhaps you can touch on also your pricing for your meals?
Our house wine will go for like 300 shillings. That is really affordable. Someone who wants just to have a glass of wine, and I will assure you that we make very low sales on wine by glass.
Wine by glass, oh.
Yeah. Our customers like buying wine by bottle. And the price range of our wines, a good red wine, will range from 2,000 to 4,000 shillings.
Okay.
If we have special needs, we procure very special wines for our clients. But that's generally what we sell at Cellars Grill. In the sweet category and white category, you can get a good wine at 1,500. Moving upwards all the way to 4,000. Our bubbles, you go for like 4,000 shillings.
Yes.
And that is really a good sparkling wine. And it is interesting what you mentioned about sweet palate. Because we are not offering the normal sweet wines.
Yes.
And recently we got a very good wine from Wahome, which is a sweet wine, but more of medium sweet.
Medium, okay.
But you get the body in the wine, which is like a wine which is processed a bit more naturally, without adding the fruit sweetener in the wine. So even for the sweet wine, we are trying to move to a different category.
Yes.
And we have a very small range of sweet wines. I think we have 2 or 3.
Okay.
Because that's not what we want to transform the Kenyan market to. When you start experiencing dry wines, you'll be able to pick different flavors of the wine, and you start enjoying the wine journey. So we are converting most of the sweet palates into dry wines so that they can enjoy the wine. I do believe that people who take dry wines really enjoy the wines.
Okay.
Yeah, because you get different varieties that you can pick. The sweetness sometimes camouflages the taste.
The taste, definitely.
Of the wine, so that you don't get the real character of the grape.
Of the grape.
Yeah, of the grape in your wine.
And for enjoyment. And we continue educating the consumers as well in this. Now, if you think about the wine ecosystem, all the players across the value chain, of course, Kenya has a local producer in Lelesho Wines. There's a lot of importers across the board, and there's the whole restaurants and hotels coming up. What do you think are some of the opportunities? Because they were definitely different from when you were at Kwal 15 years ago.
The opportunities are huge. There are big opportunities in the industry. If you look at the pattern of development which is coming in Kenya now, and if you have traveled recently into the counties, you see a shift of urbanization to the county headquarters.
Yes.
There is a lot of urbanization, people moving from the villages, building within the towns, people shifting from Nairobi to go to the rural towns. And this creates opportunities for all spectrum of businesses, from fine restaurants, from wine merchants, from wine wholesalers, and those are big opportunities. As I am talking now, when we introduced the variety of wines in Voi, we could not believe it. Customers are asking for this, they're asking for that. Customers are coming and ask, do you have another wine other than Nedebag, which used to stock?
Which used to stock, exactly.
Then we are giving them the 7 watch range. We are giving them the micro
Yes.
from France.
Yes.
So the market is experiencing a lot of dynamics.
Yes.
Because of the way the economy is being set up, that there are more opportunities across the country than in Nairobi only.
Than just in Nairobi.
Wines used to be predominantly for Nairobi restaurants and Mombasa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you wouldn't go to a rural town and get wine.
Yes.
Today is different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you go to a rural town, you ask, where can I get good wine? If you come to Voi, people will tell you, go to Africa Rodgers.
True.
Because that's where the good wine is.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to another town, another player will have good wines. And this is spreading. So the tastes are changing. The mindset is also
It's
changing.
also changing, yes.
Because when we are growing up in Nairobi, in the university and all that, we didn't believe that wine is for men. We thought wine is for ladies.
Wine
only.
is for ladies only.
Yes, today, what is happening?
Yes.
Yeah? If you're not shy away as a man
From drinking.
opening a good bottle of wine. So those present opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So at the consumer level, there's the myths that are changing. Devolution has brought opportunities
Yes.
beyond Nairobi for people to have access to wine across the board. So even for big companies like, say, Kwal, you have to think about your route to market very differently now because there's all these 40 plus counties that are opening up with, of course, each of their major centers coming along.
And with the social media exposure, the consumer is exposed.
Yes.
So it's not like before where you only rely on wine tastings and presentations. Now you can go to the internet and you go to like Vivino and see how your wine is rated. So this and the sophistication of the consumer, that
Yes.
the consumer is becoming a bit more wanting. The consumer wants to try.
Yes.
Try new products,
New products and
new
new things.
experiences.
Yes.
All this provides opportunities. If you look at the liquor market, if you come up with a new product, people want to try.
Yes.
Yeah, those days we used to do hard sell, introducing a new product. People didn't want to taste. They wanted to stick to their product. Now people are excited to try new things. So there is a lot of changes in the marketplace.
Okay.
All these changes provide opportunities. It all depends on which niche of the market you want to play.
You want to play.
There are various areas where you can find a niche
Niche. Okay.
and come up with a consumer offering which can give you business.
Business. Okay. So, of course, we start businesses wanting profitability.
Yes.
But we operate in an environment where there's rules, laws, institutions that we have to deal with.
Unfortunately.
So, for example, as opposed to opening, say, just a restaurant, for you to have liquor here, please take us through the regulatory environment that you had to go through to be able to run this business legally.
This has also created an opportunity for other people. Because what most of us are doing, we are looking for even consultants.
Okay.
Somebody comes and tell you, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do that. Because there are so many regulations.
Yes.
Some of them you don't even know.
Wow.
So you need to sit down with somebody who has done it and then tell you this is what you require. You require this license, you require the health people to come and inspect your premises. You need a go-ahead from the liquor licensing board within the locality. So you need some professional advice.
Okay.
But if you have done it, like we have done it in Voi,
Yes.
then it is easy for us because we know all what is required, and then it becomes easier. But if you are a new entrant, you require advice because you can come and start, and then you find yourself on the wrong side of
the
law,
law.
because you don't know. And as they say, ignorance of the law is no defense. So you'll be arrested.
You'll be arrested, yes.
Yeah. So you need, just like any other business you do, you need to do a bit of due diligence, which we can call research.
Yes.
You research, find out whether it's a friendly environment to do business.
Yes.
I know the people who import wines, sometimes they go through a lot of regulation.
Yes.
And sometimes the law changes, and the law might not change into your favor, because every year the finance bill might prescribe different taxes,
Yes.
might prescribe different requirements. You have to do pre-shipping inspection and all that. So there is a lot, especially the liquor industry, because it's highly, highly regulated.
Regulated, yes.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what specific liquor license you have for a premise like this?
This is basically a bar and restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah. Liquor license.
Okay. Which is renewable every year,
Renewable
and now you
every
know
year,
how
yeah.
to go about the process.
It's renewable every year.
Okay. How easy is it to get staff at the standard you want in both your establishments? The human resource aspect. Are the people qualified to do and to provide the kind of service you want to be provided for?
The qualified people are there, and you find that because of unemployment. So many people looking for jobs are not qualified in that field.
Yes.
They are looking for a job because they don't have a job. So you end up with people who are not well trained. But all I say is that if you get people with the right attitude, people with good moral standards, people who are honest, then you are ready to go and start training your staff the way you want to train them. Obviously, people with a background of training in the hotel industry is an advantage. But you know now Italy can't provide or doesn't provide the necessary personnel required in the industry. Italy used to provide a lot of support staff, management to the hotel industry, not anymore. So there are so many colleges which have come up, some of them not very well regulated or not very well equipped, but that's what is available. So the old people who are trained in Italy are very good.
Yes.
But they're also difficult to find and very expensive.
Very expensive.
So for middle level restaurants, you may have to go to these other colleges, get good people, interview them, and know that you have to train them on the job. On the job training is very, very important. That's why, like here, we do the various wine tastings. They come to run about wines, but most of them didn't have knowledge of wines, and they gain the knowledge, and we work with them, and eventually we become good staff.
Yes.
Yeah, or good or well-trained staff.
And these are the same kind of people where hopefully in the future will be getting professional wines and spirits qualification to be able to take the business to the next level.
Sure, yes. Those who come to the industry and they get so much interested, and then they look for courses. Today is anyone who is interested to have to have any knowledge. There is the internet.
There is the internet, exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
there is the internet. You can go and learn a lot, and whatever now you gain from your on the job is a plus. But the most important thing is interest and the light attitude towards that job.
True. Now, what do you see as the future of Africa Lodges or Cellars Grill? I mean, you did hint about location, perhaps, to the central part of the country. Are you going to extend both brands, or what is the plan for you for the future?
The opportunity for the two brands. This is a very new brand, but I'm finding it very exciting.
Super.
And this is a brand which can be replicated in any part of the country.
Great.
Business strategy evolves. So you might have your thinking, but as you do the business, you find the business is taking you to another direction,
Yes.
or to a better strategy than the one you planned for.
Yes.
So we might start this, and then you see it might lead us into various opportunities. It can lead us into franchise.
Yes.
It can lead us to extending the brand to other towns, or even in Nairobi, we might decide this is a brand for Nairobi only. We look for different outlets. But the business strategy evolves.
Yes.
Because as we do this business, we might find people coming and say, hey, this is a unique product. Can we partner? Can you help me set up this in Nyeri?
Yes.
Or in Mombasa? And that's why I'm saying you remain open, but we have a guided strategy
Yes.
of growth.
Of course.
That we would like to have this outlet in different places. Africa Road is the same. And as I said, we have some satellite locations where we would want Africa Roads to go. But we have to completely finish with that product because it's still a young brand.
Okay.
By the time probably we get to 10 years, we should be able, not even 10 years, in the next probably 3 years, we should be thinking about the next Africa Roads and the location.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
All began in Voi, inspired by Muranga,
Yes.
and that is where we are now.
Yeah.
Tell us about your favorite wine or spirit. I don't want to assume that it is one or the other. As a final closing shot, yeah.
And I don't have a favorite wine,
Okay.
but if you're buying a wine for me now, I would ask you to look back at the shelf and get me 7 Vash Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay.
Yes.
Zivinvacht Cabernet Sauvignon. In fact, the winemaker will be in town.
Yeah.
Perhaps, if not that wine, we can get you something in the same class.
Yes.
So we are thinking red wine and specifically of the Cabernet Sauvignon variety.
Cabernet Sauvignon, you know, I never go wrong with that.
Okay.
Yes.
When you finish...
I take other varieties.
Yes.
I will take a Shiraz, I will take a Malo.
Yes.
But my favorite grape is Cab Sav.
Cabernet Sauvignon, the king of the grapes. Then let me maybe ask you this way. When you finished your Comrades Marathon, what did you go straight for?
I went for a very good steak at a Cab Sav in Durban.
In Durban,
Yeah.
right?
Fortunately, I was not limping.
Oh, fortunately, even on the next day.
No, I was not.
Oh my goodness.
I took the Comrade slowly.
Okay.
Slowly. I never pushed myself.
Yeah.
11 hours, 25 minutes. So the same day, I enjoyed a good steak
Okay.
and a good wine in Durban
All right.
as a celebration.
Mine was a different story. I definitely was walking like a penguin, not just for the day, for the rest of the week. And I don't even think I had any wine on that particular day. But you know, here is different strokes for different folks. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. We've gleaned a lot from you, the person, the business, and of course learnt about the ecosystem. This is only the beginning, and I'm sure we'll be having more conversations with you in the future. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Wajiro. It is always a pleasure meeting you and also enjoying a good wine. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That is just the beginning of the stakeholders in the wine and spirits industry in Kenya. I hope this has led to your curiosity about the opportunities in this industry and some of the brands that are available. Stay tuned because this journey is only beginning. See you soon.